Welcome to the Elevate Within podcast. I'm your host, Megan Ulsgaard, manifesting coach and intuition development expert. I'm here to help you fire up your intuition, up-level your mindset, co-create with the universe, and supercharge your manifesting abilities so that you can create a life that is truly elevated. I believe you are so incredibly powerful that nothing can stand in your way. It's your time to achieve that enormous goal that you've kept hidden for far too long. You're ready to go after everything you want and truly become unstoppable. It's time to upgrade your life from the inside out. Get ready to be elevated within every single day and attract the life that you are truly passionate about. Let's do this. Welcome back to the Elevate Within podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how words affect your vibration, affect your energy, and affect your law of attraction manifestations. So words are extremely powerful when you're trying to manifest things into your life. And I didn't realize this before until I did a law of attraction experiment. So I'm going to tell you all about the experiment, and I would love it if you would try this out for yourself. It is super fun, and it will really help to prove to you that law of attraction is real. So you may have heard of Emoto's water experiments, where he basically takes water and he does experiments with them, with words, with music. So for example, he plays really harsh music to some of them and then looks at what the crystals do under the telescope. And then he does the opposite and plays very nice, light, like classical type music to different water crystals. And then he looks at them and sees what they do. They transform into beautiful crystals. And then he does that with words as well. There's a lot of different experiments he did with this. You can definitely Google it. Professor Emoto, I believe is his name. So this is basically a twist on what he did, but it's something that you can do as well. So it's because you don't need the equipment, the telescope and all that. You can just do this in your own house. So what it is you cook rice and then you put it in mason jars. So you split it into 3 different mason jars. You label one hate, the other one ignore, and the other one love. So what I did was I split the equal portions into 3 jars, closed the jar, put a little sticky on top of them with each of those different words. And then I put them in the cupboard a few inches away from each other because I didn't want their energy to hit each other and affect each other. So I did move them slightly apart from each other. And the experiment was supposed to go on for 30 days, but I went for 50 days because I physically couldn't see a lot of change in the 30 days. So what I did was the ignore one was super easy. I just ignored it. I did nothing to it, just left it alone. The love one, what I did to that one was I spoke loving words to it every single day. So I would pick it up and I'd hold it and hug it. I'd be like, I love you. Thank you. You're beautiful. You're perfect. I appreciate you. Thank you for being in my life. And I felt really good when I held it. And then I would pick up the hate one and I started saying really, really mean things to it. It was really hard because I didn't want it to affect my vibration. So as I was saying it, I was trying to disconnect from the energy so that it wouldn't come into my experience. But it was only for about a minute during the day. So I didn't feel like it was affecting my energy a whole heck of a lot. And I would just tell it how horrible it was, that it was worthless, that it was useless, all these mean things basically. And if I had anxiety that day, I would just hold the rice close to me and also give it some of that energy. But I basically just said those words to it. Like I mentioned, it was about a minute, maybe a little less, every single day for 50 days. And then I revealed the results and I could see the hate jar had a little bit of mold. The other ones looked just like white rice. So what I did was I opened up the ignore jar and it smelled a little bit stinky. There wasn't really any mold or anything, but it had kind of this stinky smell. It wasn't very pleasant. And then I opened up the love one. I was scared that it was going to be stinky, like the ignore one. It smelled perfect. There was no sort of smell in it, no mold. It looked like perfect white rice. So I was like, okay, that's pretty darn cool. And then I did the hate one. And I opened it up and there was mold on the lid, a tiny bit of mold throughout the jar, and it smelled like rotten, wet, stinky feet. It was one of the worst smells I've ever smelled in my entire life. And I almost got sick. Like I had to close the lid, the jar right away. I have a video on it. You can see me opening it. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, infinitesoulblueprint.com, you can actually see my reaction because I could not even do the video with that one open because it was so disgusting. But that just proved to me like words are powerful. So could you imagine, just think about the words that you say to yourself every single day. Are they the loving words, or are they the negative words, or are you just ignoring yourself altogether, right? So that's going to affect your physical body. That's going to affect your emotions. That's going to affect the energy that you give off. If you're saying those loving words to yourself every single day, your body's going to thrive. You're going to have energy. Everything is going to be working in you nicely. If you ignore yourself, it'll be somewhere in the middle. I don't think you'll be thriving as much, but it also won't be as detrimental. But if you're speaking those words, those mean words to yourself or to others, your body is going to begin to deteriorate. Things are going to not work as good. Things are going to break down. Things are going to deteriorate. Your energy, you won't be able to manifest those things that you want. So sometimes we think that the words that we say inside of our heads don't affect us. We think, well, I'm not saying them to anyone else. I'm just saying them to myself. If you don't feel good or whatever, those words are hurting you. They're not helping you. So it's really about being mindful of the words that you say to yourself every single day, the thoughts that are going on in your head. A really great thing you can do is kind of like a brain dump where just for one day, even half a day, write down all the thoughts you have in your head, because you may not realize what thoughts you have in your head. And you know what? You may be surprised. The thoughts may be, super empowering. You might be like, you know what? I didn't realize that I was saying such good things, about myself. Or if they are disempowering, then that is your opportunity to change them, to consciously change the words in your head. This also made me realize how powerful affirmations are. And ever since this experiment, I have been doing daily affirmations. So if you're trying to attract something in your life, if you're trying to manifest something, or if you're just trying to keep your vibe high, saying those powering affirmations every single day will help to do that. Remember, I only spoke to the rice for 1 minute a day, and it changed. It changed for 50 days, 1 minute a day. So if you can say affirmations for 1 minute a day that are empowering, over time, things will change for you as well. You will be thriving. So that is a super powerful thing that you can do. I also want to talk just a little bit about how words can provoke feelings. Okay, so saying these words to yourself can provoke, it literally changes the energy. It literally changes the chemistry of your body, but they can also provoke feelings. So either good feelings or bad feelings, which will ultimately affect how you manifest things in your life. So I'm just going to say a couple words, and I want you to feel how these words feel. This also helps to prove to you how powerful words are. So the first one, think of inch. How does that make you feel when you think of an inch? Okay, now switch it. Think of mile. How does mile make you feel? My guess is that when you think of inch, that makes you feel small, right? Inch is a very small amount. When you think of mile, you probably feel expanded. You feel like there's more room. A mile is a lot larger than an inch. You probably feel like it probably feels a lot better. You probably feel constricted when you think of an inch. You probably feel expanded when you think of a mile. Okay, let's move on. The next one. Here's your next word, pour. How does that feel in your body when you think of poor? Okay, now think of rich. How does it feel in your body when you think of rich? So my guess is that poor probably makes you feel bad and constricted. Rich probably makes you feel good and expanded. But if you are feeling the opposite of what I just said, it's because you have some limiting beliefs, and because if you have felt poor your entire life and that's what you're comfortable with, and if I said the word poor and you feel comfortable with that, then that's showing where your energy, it's showing that you are comfortable being poor. Okay. And if I say rich and it gives you anxiety, it's because you have a belief, a limiting belief there. So that's something also super powerful to take a look at, because the words rich should make you feel expanded. It should make you feel abundant. It should make you feel good. So that's just something to take note of if you did feel opposite. Okay, the next one, shrink. Okay, how does that word feel in your body? Shrink. And now expand. How does it feel when you hear the word expand? Okay, my guess is the same. Shrink probably makes you feel little. It probably doesn't feel so good. Expand probably makes you feel pretty good. It makes you feel powerful. Okay, we're going to do one more. I just really want you to understand how powerful words are. Okay, think of the word depressed. How does that make you feel? Now think of the word happy. How does that make you feel? So once again, you probably don't feel very good when you hear the word depressed, right? It might even trigger something. It might trigger something inside of you. When you hear the word happy, you probably feel good. If you don't, it's because you have a limiting belief that you can't have that happiness. And it's not true. It's just a limiting belief. So the way that we can shift this is by saying those affirmations, saying those words every single day. You can write notes on your phone. You can change your screensaver to say, like, if you say you're trying to be healthy, you can put your screensaver to say healthy. You can put little index cards around your house that say healthy. You can do affirmations that say healthy. You can just repeat in your mind every single day, healthy, 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 I'm healthy. Another really cool thing that I heard that you can do is this lady that was selling natural pharmaceutical drugs, instead of putting the negative words on them. So for example, instead of saying something like heartburn or cure strep throat or whatever it is, what she would do was she would put words like vitality, perfect immune system, perfect health, perfect liver, whatever it is, in order to shift that energy. So when you go and you grab that pill, that prescription or whatever, and you see the word vitality versus the negative words, that's what your body is going to conform to. Your body will conform to the vitality. So what you want to do is you want to empower yourself. You can put on your water bottle. You've probably heard of those water bottles that have empowering words. You can just put your own on there. Put like a sticky and tape it on. A word, maybe vitality, abundance, love, prosperity, whatever you want to bring into your experience, then choose that word. So this is really about being mindful of the words that you choose. Choose the empowering words and your body will conform. Like I said, you know what? It may not seem like it's happening at first. When I looked, that's why I did the rice experiment for 50 days. I was looking in the jars and I could only see a tiny little bit of mold in the hate jar, but I didn't know what they smelled like. So I didn't know the whole picture. I didn't know what was actually happening inside those jars. I only understood it when I opened it up. Same with your body. You may not understand what's happening in your body or just in your energy in general, which is affecting your manifestations. It may not seem like things are changing, but just trust that they are. So I would absolutely love for you to try this experiment because it is super fun and it is super eye-opening. So if you want more information on how I did this experiment, like I mentioned before, you can go to my Infinite Soul Blueprint YouTube channel or to my blog. I also have an article on there, so infinitesoulblueprint.com under the rice experiment, and try it out for yourself. And I would absolutely love to hear your results. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next podcast. Thank you for spending time with me on the Elevate Within podcast. I appreciate you being here with me. If you could take one moment to share this episode on social media, tag me in it, or share it with someone personally that you think would love this, that would be absolutely amazing. Also, if you're loving this podcast, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on iTunes and by subscribing to this channel so I can keep providing you with content that will truly leave you elevated within. I can't wait to connect with you on the next show.